Two, how's it going?
98.1 presents to you the very best of African authors.
I'm a storyteller. I was also
African stories and perspectives with a mix of prose and poetry, drama and thriller, fiction and reality.
I write about things I recognize.
It's 1 hour of inspired literature on the Smooth Book Review. Every Saturday from 10 a.m. Smooth, smooth, smooth.
Love music, love life, Smooth 98.1.
Brother Jumbo, why you dey fumble? Big sister Carol, she don't change her bottle. You no need to dey suffer to send money, oh. Carol go make you dial the number 894. Make you know the wait. 894.
Yes, yes, yes.
It is safe and secure. 894. For me, 894. For you, 894. There's a number that can change your whole world. 894. It no matter if you not got data. 894. Just pick your phone and dial the number. 894. For me, 894. For you, 894. For Niger.
Dial star 894 hash to get started. Powered by First Bank.
Hello, people. This is Frank Donga, and you're listening to Smooth Breakfast.
The Smooth Breakfast presents the headlines, the stories, the news, in-depth analysis of national current affairs. Freshly pressed on Smooth 98.1.
Headlines.
You first. First Bank. You first, first bank.
You ready? Good morning and welcome to the Smoothest Style on Vegas Radio. We are Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's time for Freshly Pressed 981. Of course, this is a part of the show where we bring you detailed analysis of all the stories making rounds in the dailies. And we're going to start off with an interesting one this morning from the Punch newspaper. But before we do that, we have a very special guest leading us through conversations. As always, of course, he's no stranger to the show. In person of Mr. Wade Ehime. Good morning.
Good morning, Coyote. Good morning, Lagos. Great to be here. It's been long since I came in on Monday.
Yes, it has. How was your weekend, by the way?
My weekend was good.
Awesome, awesome. Good to have you here. You can be a part of our conversation by reaching out to us live on our WhatsApp platform. 0809-444-0981 is where you can send your messages to. Also, you can reach out to us. We're streaming live on YouTube. So it's youtube.com/smooth981fm Lagos. And also, we're taking messages on Twitter. Please use the hashtag FreshlyPress981 to be a part of our conversation this morning. Like I mentioned, here's an interesting one from the Punch newspaper, and it happened over the weekend. So it talks about how the military regained control over Kaduna Airport after terrorist attack on navigational equipment. And to put a background to the story, terrorists numbering over 200 on Saturday invaded the Kaduna International Airport located in Igbabi local government area in Kaduna State, disrupting operations and killing one security personnel of the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency. Now, the attack caused panic in the airport and reportedly grounded a Lagos-bound Asman aircraft scheduled to take off around 12:30 p.m. Wadi, I mean, you've read the story, and this is it's shocking.
Yeah, it is shocking. I just hope we're not over the last 5-6 years we've continually spoken about the state of insecurity in Nigeria, and as it is now with this attack at the airport, I become it becomes really worrisome. That I hope we're not getting into the face of what happened in Kenya some years back with Al Shabaab taking over um, 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 business centers, shopping complexes, and trying to take over the airport. And you know how long it lasted. And thank God, first and foremost, if you read the story, the attack came in two parts.
Okay.
The first one was at 12:30 a.m.
Yes.
early hours of Saturday, and
Okay.
they were repelled. And then they came back a second time during the day, broad daylight, and they killed one of the Nama security operatives. This was when they were going to check the runway to be sure that the after repelling them in the middle of the night, the planes could actually operate. And first and foremost, my sincere sympathy goes to the family of the security operatives who lost his life. May his soul rest in the bosom of the Lord. But it's becoming very scary, very, very scary that bandits can, 200 of them can stroll
Invade
into
a place and then,
and
you know, just seize the
technically
place, ground
seize it
operations.
and not let operations continue. Where was the security?
No, but what led to the bandits storming the airports? Because there are different reports. You know, there's a report that, you know, reads that some military personnel, you know, seized their cattle. You know, there are different reports coming from different quarters. But really, what led to the attack? And was there anything taken? Was there?
So first of all, they were trying to attack the navigation system.
Okay.
Why they were trying to do that, I have no idea. Is it that they wanted the system so that they could use it for themselves? That's why I said it's a bit worrisome.
Okay.
If those things were taken away, those are the things that control where airplanes are, their locations, when to land, where they are at any particular point in time, which is standard for airports. If they take that, does it mean that they have the plan was to take it away, install it somewhere where they have, or to be able to monitor the airspace system in Nigeria? That's why I said it's really, really worrisome. Fortunately, they were repelled the first time. Secondly, they were repelled. But for me, what the story says is because some military personnel took their cattle. I don't know how that becomes an issue for you to attack an airport, and you did it at midnight. It was repelled the first time, and then you came back at midnight. So
with a bigger group.
With a bigger group. So what does that tell you? I think there's more to it. Initially, when the story first broke, I can remember one of the first things that happened was, oh no, it wasn't true. And then when the NAMA official actually confirmed it, then everybody was like, oh, what had happened? What was going on? Had the plane been able to go? And at the end of the day, fortunately, the military security operators stepped in, were able to regain control of the airport, and the two planes that were meant to fly out of Kaduna that day actually flew out. So it's really, really worrisome because you really don't know. At the end of the day, the story doesn't really tell you what the main objectives of the terrorists were. But if based on the fact that they tried to attack the navigation system, it's one of two things for me. Either you're trying to shut it down so that nobody knows what's going on, and that even gets me a bit more scared.
More worrying then.
Because does it mean they now have planes that they are flying, and what are they doing with this? These are questions that we all need to ask ourselves, and the security operatives needs to start, looking into why that, and if they've attacked Kaduna, what are the possibilities of other
attacking other places
because we heard sometime, I think it was a couple of years ago before COVID, the possibilities of attacking the airports. And if this has happened, this is not one of the major airports in Nigeria, so you can imagine what we're talking about. Abuja, Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, which are major international airports. What happens? What's the level of security going to be in those places?
Speaking of level of security, don't forget you can get your messages in. Send them to 0809-444-0981. That's where you can send your messages in to be a part of our conversation. From the Guardian newspaper, police upgrade crime reporting mobile application. Now, the Inspector General of Police, that's Mr. Usman Akali, has confirmed an upgrade of the Nigerian Police Force crime reporting mobile application. It's called MPF Rescue. Now, the Force Acting Police Relations Officer, that's Olamuyiwa Adejobi, made this known in a statement on Saturday in Abuja. So with this upgrade from this app, does this mean that every regular Nigerian can just at the click of a button get the police to come to the neighborhood if there's anything going on?
Well, it's a number of things.
Okay.
First and foremost, this is the first time I'm hearing about this app.
Okay.
So for me, it's good news that
Yes.
there's an app where you can register, provide your details, and then you can provide information on criminal activities as the case may be.
Okay.
Even on police officers' misconduct.
Okay.
So that for me is good news.
Will
Now,
the people trust the app though? That's the question. Now.
well, until you use the app, you can't say if you trust it. So until you have people even know, like I said, this is the first time I'm hearing about the app. If there was an app before now, they have probably haven't publicized it. Now, if it's the improvement, or maybe they had launched the app and there were issues and they needed to correct those issues before they made this statement, maybe that's what they've done. So until people start to use the app and find out how reliable it is, even just to download the app, how reliable is it? If I try and sign in, can I get in immediately? Can I report a crime? And in a space of depending on where it is, you will have security operatives, available to check the crime. And this for me is really good. So let Nigerians give it a try. You can't say something is not trustworthy if you've not tried it until you try it, and then you find. And then the other thing for me is when we start to try, we start to find out what the gaps are, and then we can communicate these gaps, and then we can help improve the system as a whole, and maybe just improve the way we report crimes and other nefarious activities of people.
All right. Thank you so much for that. By the way, this is Freshly Pressed right here on Smooth 98.1. It's a part of Smooth Breakfast, and you can get your thoughts in, like I mentioned, to 0809-444-0981. And also, we're taking messages on Twitter. Use the hashtag FreshlyPressed981. Up on our YouTube platform, here's a message from Wisdom, or rather, here's a message from Atam Balil. Says bandits will dismantle airport landing instructions for installation somewhere else. That comes from watching too much movies. Okay, so
You'll be amazed.
well, okay, so like I mentioned, let's get back into the stories, but let's talk about the next one here. And it's a bit of an interesting one, more like I think a step in the right direction if Nigeria follows through with it. So speaking on the Russia-Ukraine war, Nigeria ready to step in as alternative gas supplier to Europe, says Silva. And according to the story here, it says following the war between Russia and Ukraine, which is threatening the supply of gas to European countries by Russia, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Mr. Timothy Silva, has revealed that the country is ready to offer its services as an alternative gas supply to Europe. And this is, like I mentioned, a step in the right direction. However, are we ready? Is it something that we can do? Can we take advantage of the situation at this point in time?
I don't know if you can take immediate advantage at this point in time. But already, Nigeria is one of the largest producers of gas across the world. This is an opportunity for new investment in gas. If we're still continually flaring gas, this is an opportunity for us to actually
put that gas
into good use. I remember, I think it was just before the Ukraine war, the EU had said something about this, meeting also with the Minister of Petroleum Resources. I think it was about 5-6 weeks ago, when they promised that they wanted to invest in the gas infrastructure over the next few years, because of the tension they saw between the Ukraine and Russia. So for me, this is good news. But the question is, what will be the modalities for this investment? How quickly can they put this investment in place? Because we know that Nigeria, as part of the group on West African gas pipeline, it's been forever. Is it fully operational? I don't think so. In bits and pieces, are we passing enough gas across all the pipelines in Nigeria? The power stations are not getting enough gas. We don't have enough gas in Nigeria to even use for cooking. So, but with the reservoir of gas that we have, what kind of investment have they put in over the last 10-15 years? So maybe this is an opportunity for a lot of the multinationals who are trying to move out of Nigeria, from the crude space to actually invest in gas. But the question is it a convenient space for them to invest with the difficulty that you have in Nigeria today, insecurity, lack of trust in the system, policy somersaults left, right, and center. So, but this is a huge opportunity. We know that Nigeria is part of the West African gas pipeline, is part of the other gas pipeline that's supposed to deliver gas to Europe through Algeria, and the West African gas pipeline that's supposed to have been it's been on for God knows how long. I can't remember how long it's been on. It's supposed to have gone through West Africa, through Mauritania, going towards Morocco, and I'm not sure where they are with that at this point in time. So, are there investment in opportunities available? Yes, there are. Are we going to make the best use of it? Let's wait and see. This is a government in transition, so I really don't know.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Let's move on to our next story from this day newspaper. So the NCAA threatens actions against airlines over price fixing, and according to the story, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has said that it will soon sanction airlines against price fixing or any gang up by local and international carriers to fix price of flight tickets without its knowledge. And this might come from the fact that we've talked about this, about how aviation fuel has gone up, how the prices are still going up regardless. And it feels as though this might be a way for these air carriers to regain some of the monies that they've lost if they're fixing certain prices. But then again, the NCAA is talking tough. So how do we see this going?
It's sometimes it's like an issue of which comes first, the chicken or the egg. People invest in business. You can't recoup your investment from the business because of price increases, and we also have to consider the fact that will the consumers be able to pay for those price increases, which for me I see a huge a high level of consumers not being able to. Currently, the number of air passenger travel has reduced to a large extent. One, COVID. Two, the cost of actually flying.
Okay.
And even when you consider the level of inflation and the amount of money that you still get paid or you get out of doing your business, so it becomes necessary. Flying anywhere becomes a necessary thing, not it becomes a need, not a want. And at the end of the day, so with NCAA talking tough, everybody needs to sit down and find out how do we remedy the situation.
Not too long ago we talked about a bailout. Some people have the opinion that if the government is going to give a bailout to the aviation industry or the aviation sector, then there should be bailouts in different sectors. But with the rising prices in fuel, for example, don't you think that at some point in time there should be a strong intervention?
But the other question about intervention is this: where are you going to get the funds to use for the intervention? Okay. Do we have the resources to use for this intervention in these various sectors? The CBN is practically involved in every aspect of the economy today. They're in agric, they're in the CBN governor last week was saying, they might need to intervene in the importation of petroleum products. If the policy bank is turning into commercial or investment banking and continually intervene in these things, where exactly is this money? Where are these monies coming from? Our foreign exchange earnings have gone down. We are continually complaining. The budget deficits have been going higher and higher every year. So where this money is coming from? Are we just printing money to intervene? And even if we're intervening and printing money to intervene, what's the repercussion of that? Inflation is shooting up. So price of commodities and goods and commodities are going up. So everything is just going up. I really don't know where we're heading in this space. But I think the NCAA the operators and the foreign marketers should all come to the table and see what works best for them. Some of the oil marketers had complained that some of these airlines are owing them.
Okay.
That's why they are withholding the sale of aviation fuel to them. So it's, I guess now what they're doing is cash and carry basis for those who don't have any credit limit anymore.
All right, thank you so much for that, Wadi. Let's go on a quick break. When we get back, we'll do some more talking. Don't forget, this is Freshly Pressed right here on Smooth 98.1. Please stay with us.
It's about soul healing vibes that transcend you with lyrical grooves, lifting you into love as you flow through life. My music is frequency. Love music, love life. You're listening to Mind News.
Okay, my ticket.
Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
Rice, my sister.
What are you calculating?
Don't kill chicken. At First Bank, we understand there are times you need extra cash to sort out your bills. Well, that's where we come in. With First Advance, you can get up to 50% of your salary in 1 minute. Update your First mobile app or dial *894*11# to get extra cash now. Open a First Bank salary account today to enroll for First Advance. Visit www.firstbanknigeria.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply. You first, First Bank. Hello, people. This is Frank Donga, and you're listening to Smooth Breakfast.
Welcome back, Lagos. This is still Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's still Freshly Pressed 981. And yes, if you want to be a part of our talk, you know what to do. Please get your messages into 0809-444-0981. And you want to catch a glimpse of what's going on, please head on down to our YouTube page to be a part of our conversation this morning. It's youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. Wade is still with us this morning, and let's move on to our next story. From the Punch newspaper, the BRT generally explains skeletal services on Ikorodu TBS route. So Primero Transport Services, the operators of the Bus Rapid Transit in Lagos, has blamed the high cost of diesel for the skeletal operations on the Ikorodu Tafa Balewa Square route. And, this was disclosed in a statement on Sunday.
Yeah. We just finished talking about the aviation sector. So now we're talking about the road, the road transport sector. So we find out that it's not just the aviation, it's also, what's it called, road transport. Most of the BRT buses run on diesel.
Okay.
And diesel, we know what the cost is.
Prices are going up.
Prices are going up.
So the cost is not reflecting in what their earnings.
Oh, no, the prices can just go up. So that's what they're saying. So I guess what they're doing now is skeletal services over the weekend.
Okay.
And just to ensure that they can preserve, they can have enough funding towards getting fuel, diesel to run the buses during rush hours, during the week when more people, travel to their various parts of.
But now we know that diesel is not subsidized, and we see that the prices are really rising. Sometimes it rises, it goes down. It rises.
Yeah, that's the market forces of demand and supply.
Yes.
And it also depends on what the cost of crude is as it goes on. So prices went up to as high as when the crude prices were getting to like $130.
They went as much as
700,
700.
almost going to 800. It's gone down a bit now as crude prices have gone down in that direction.
So do we see ticket prices for the BRT also?
Well,
BRT
that's what they're complaining about. They can't just increase the prices.
Okay.
So they're asking, what do we do? There's no government intervention, which is some of the things that we spoke about earlier when we're talking about the aviation fuel. Where's the money to intervene? Maybe Lagos State is going to look at it and say, you know what, we would give you some form of intervention over the next 3-6 months to see how things go. But if you increase the ticket prices, you also remember that you're going to lose some customers.
Wow. tough times. But let's see how they can find a way to navigate the situation though. But hey, like I mentioned, if you've been trying to reach out to us on our WhatsApp platform, you also can reach out to us on our Twitter platform. Having a bit of technical challenges with the WhatsApp, but it's okay. You can also reach out to us on YouTube, like I mentioned. It's youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. That said, let's get back to the next story. This one here talks about the SEC. Okay, so the SEC laments high level of unclaimed dividends. This coming from This Day newspaper this morning. What are your thoughts about this?
This has been in play for a very, very long time. Some of these dividends, sometimes some of these people are dead. Nobody's claiming them.
Okay.
Some of the owners or the relations of the owners don't even know that these people have these shares or these stocks in place. I think as a whole, the system has really, really improved. For those who know that they have shares in any of the companies, I think they should go to the CSCS online portal and see issues relating to unclaimed dividends. If your name is there, how do you ensure that you can submit your forms towards ensuring that it's paid directly to your bank account? I know about 5-6 years ago or thereabout, the Nigerian Stock Exchange along with the CSCS ensured that customers were able to fill the e-dividend forms, put in your bank account that it goes directly into, and then it made it much easier. But there's a whole lot of unclaimed dividend, some of them as old as 20-30 years ago. So I really don't know what we need to do. It's just to continually educate the people of what you need to know about it and ensure
how to claim them.
and how to claim them. And it's easier now to claim them by using the e-form.
Okay.
So you go onto the CSCS platform, fill it out, put in your bank accounts, they'll cross-check all the information relating to it, and subsequently the companies will pay directly into your bank account.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Let's move on to our next story. This one's from the Guardian newspaper. Management shots OAU over Ife indigenes protest. Now, this came after some aggrieved indigenes of the university's host community besieged the campus with with charms and other fetish objects in protest against the appointment of Professor Adibui Bamire as the vice chancellor for the institution. What do you think about this?
When this news broke and they said,
some of the protesters also they were also assaulted some of the workers and students in the institution.
Yeah, which for me is unfair. There was a process that they went through to select the VC.
Okay.
The selection committee has put the details of the preferred, what the ones that the indigenes prefer, who they say comes from within that locality.
Okay.
As the vice chancellor, the first thing we need to remember is we should, as a country, first and foremost, let's ensure that whoever is going to run anything for us is based on merits, not based on the fact that because I know you or is from a particular place or is from that area, that's why he should be the head of the place. No, it should be based on merit and based on the fact that the person has deliverables which you can and should be able to monitor and ensure that those deliverables are being met. If that is not the case, then you can now petition the fact that those things, the KPIs, are not being met. But where you go disturbing peaceful individuals who are going about their duties because you are aggrieved over who was selected as vice chancellor of a university that the federal government decided to put in Ife. It wasn't the indigenes or the what's it called, Western region then decided to put in Ife. It wasn't the indigenes that built the university. So I don't understand why you now think that you now have to be an indigene that should, you might as well just get the indigenes of everywhere to run the business, even if they are qualified or not.
All right, thank you so much for that, Wadi. Our final story, let's quickly touch on this one. It's on This Day newspaper. Abdullahi Adamu sworn in as APC national chairman. Now, Senator Abdullah Adamu, who was affirmed on Saturday as the was affirmed on Saturday as the All Progressive Congress national chairman. He has been sworn in. He was inaugurated on Sunday, at Eagle Square in Abuja, when the venue of the party's convention. So, what does this mean for the APC?
It means now they have a chairman that is going to run the primaries of the APC.
Okay.
So over the next 3 months, because we know based on the INEC timetable,
yes,
by July 17, you should have submitted the names of all your nominees.
Yes.
Including the presidential nominees for offices. So Alhaji Adamu has a lot of work to do. There's been so much confusion in the APC. So now it's time for him to sit down with his new team and articulate how they want to go about running the APC primaries and coming out with their nominees before the deadline in June.
All right, thank you so much, Wade. Well, you can find Wade up on social media and also tag him in some of the conversations as well. He's at Wade_Ehime. Wade_Ehime _. Yes, that's the one. And also, please tag us in the conversation as well. We're at Smooth 981 FM, and that's across all platforms. There's more to come, though. In a few more minutes, at 8:15 precisely, it'll be the locker room right here on Smooth 98.1. This has been Freshly Pressed. Stay with us.
First Bank. You first.
What happened to your water?
I don't know.
The story.
That's what I've been messaging you back and forth. Look at it. It's stuck.
In-depth analysis of national
Messages are
current
dropping, but I'm not seeing it.
It's your
Freshly
today's Monday is
pressed
just one of
on
those.
Smooth
Last week,
98.1.
I don't know.
Let me just quickly stop this now.
We're still on air.
Win big in the First Bank Verve debit card